Hello fellow book nerds, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you've been around on the channel for a while, you know that one of my favorite types of books to read is the dark academia genre. I've read quite a few at this point, and I've even done a tier ranking here on the channel with every single dark academia book that I have read. If you would like to check that one out, I will leave it linked. Today, we are talking about 5 dark academia book recommendations with a twist. This is dark academia book recommendations based on your college major. So I recently got an email from Everand, who I'm an affiliate with, and they have challenged their affiliates to come up with a fun, creative fall book recommendation list. And so when I think of fall, I think of dark academia. And I thought with the upcoming back to school season, this was timed perfectly. So whether you are starting college or you have a new semester, or if you're someone like me who just really loved the college experience, maybe this will be a fun video for you. As a Gemini and a nerd at heart, I really love the academia as a theme. I really loved my college experience. I hope that if you're in college right now or you're starting and you're scared and nervous, just know it's a once in a lifetime opportunity and experience, something that you'll never get to do again, and just embrace it. These are essentially my favorite dark academias, let's just be honest, but I'm going to pair them with what I think is their most fitting major and minor, because a lot of these have a lot of different aspects to them. So all of these books are available on Everand. Almost all of them are in an ebook and an audiobook format, so I do have my affiliate link in the description. Be sure to check them out. I would really appreciate it. Give this video a like and a comment so you can boost it. That would really help me out. I do personally use Everand, and I think it's one of the best values for money out there as far as like a subscription service. You can try it for free for a month with my link. So let's get into the recommendations. First up, is no surprise if you have been a subscriber to the channel for a while, that is Babel by R.F. Kuang, which is a linguistics major with a minor in history. Now, Babel is set in a alternate reality fictional Oxford University where the study of language and translation is intertwined with like a magic system. Essentially, the translation of like the world's languages fuels the entirety of the British Empire. It is an insanely cool premise. Babel is the name of Oxford's Royal Institute of Translation. And so there are essentially students who are recruited there who can speak languages from all over the world. But the history aspect as well is equally important in my opinion, because there's so many layers of historical influence in this book. And yes, it's in an alternate fictional reality, but it mimics real history in so many ways. The actual full title of the book is Babel, or the Necessity of Violence. What is more historical than the study of the actual cycle of violence? Babel covers like revolution, colonialism, imperialism, economic exploitation. The list goes on. It's just an incredible read. I absolutely love it. It's one of my favorite books of all time. It's such a rich, dynamic, interesting way to deliver like a fantasy novel, and I just love it so much. Next is another absolute favorite of mine, The Secret History by Donna Tartt. And this is a major in classic literature with a minor in philosophy. The Secret History takes place again in a collegiate setting, but this one takes place at a American New England institution, just like a fictional place. And all of the main protagonists, I believe there are 6 like, you know, early 20s, late teens protagonists. They're all studying classic literature, specifically ancient Greek. Choosing ancient Greek as a major or something was a little bit too niche, so we just went with classics and philosophy in general. The plot of this book, like many dark academias, it's one of the true pillars of a dark academia, is the mystery of a murder. Now, this book opens up with a murder that is not a spoiler. You know what happens, and then the rest of the book, you are following the events that are leading up to that. So it's really less of a mystery and more about why it happened and how it affected the people involved. So that's where the philosophy aspect comes in. It really touches on the meaning of pursuing knowledge, and especially morality. What is right and wrong? What drives people to do things that they know are wrong? Human emotion of it all. I just think it does such a great job of that. And there is quite a lot of like pretentious classic literature references in this as well. Just impeccably done. One of the most atmospheric and beautifully written books I've honestly ever read. It has that quintessential classic literature vibe. In my opinion, this is a modern classic. If you really enjoy reading classic literature of any type, then you will love this book. Next we have If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio, and this is a book that when I read it, I actually didn't love it. I really liked it and enjoyed it for what it was. I thought it was well done. But then the more dark academia I read after this that obviously tried to emulate it, I realized how actually good If We Were Villains was. It's a very gothic, atmospheric feeling book. If We Were Villains follows a group of students who are exclusively studying Shakespeare. So it's obviously a theater major with a minor in English literature. It is extremely camp. These kids are literally putting on plays and studying Shakespearean in all of its facets in such detail and such dedication. They literally live and breathe theater. And this source material, it really seeps into like every aspect of the book. This one also includes a lot of actual quotes of Shakespeare. You're getting a lot of those kind of passages and language. Very interesting and unique in that way. They're all just extremely dramatic assholes, and I kind of love it. It's very much, you know, recommended a lot on like Book Talk and things. I kind of expected this to be a bit more of a watered down secret history, and honestly, it really was well done. It's very eerie and it really blurs the lines that I think a lot of artists do, especially in the fine arts, of blurring the lines of reality and performance. I think that's a very common thing for people who are so deeply entrenched in that world. The pretentious drama of it all, of these people where you're just like, these can't be real people. And I just think this one is really fun. Speaking of delusions, this next one is Bunny by Mona Awad, another one of my personal favorites. And Bunny is absolutely without a doubt a psychology major with a minor in gender studies, because Bunny is a wild ride of a book where you really aren't aware of what is happening and if it is real or not. You don't know if you're just in the main character's head, if it's a dream, if this is just something that they kind of conjured up, or if it's really happening. And again, it has that aspect of blurred lines between reality and fiction that I think is very psychology. A lot about how people are interacting, especially how they're interacting within relationships, within expectations that they have of themselves, or ways that they feel that they should act in certain places and scenarios and situations. How things like cliques and friendships and sexual relationships and desires, those things all affect who we are and how we act as a person. That is pretty much Bunny. But essentially this follows a social outcast who, again, is at a prestigious university. I can't remember exactly what they're studying. I wanna say it's like creative writing, but she's essentially coping with her mental health issues in various different ways. But she's kind of recruited by this group cult of bunnies in her class, where I think it's about 6 girls and they all call each other Bunny. They are the quintessential like blonde bimbo Barbie types, but they're also at this like very prestigious university. Very interesting to witness the interactions between all of these characters, what people will do to feel like they can fit in, what they like, the lengths that they will go. Gender studies part is interesting. You really have to read the book, I feel, to get this, but there is a very distinct line of the two genders and female friendships and female kind of camaraderie in the experience of being a woman, as opposed to boys and men. I think it's a very interesting one. Again, one of my favorites of all time. Don't go in expecting a linear, you know, experience, but if you want something that will absolutely blow your mind, then go read it. Lastly is Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. I absolutely love everything that Leigh Bardugo writes. I personally just listened to one of her short story collections in the Grishaverse and give it 5 stars. Ninth House is a forensic anthropology major with a minor in religious studies. And all of these could really kind of have some overlap of like literature and sociology and psychology, because really a lot of them are around some kind of mystery and murder and how people cope with it, the lengths that people will go for success. And Ninth House specifically is the most, I feel, focused on the murder aspect in the investigative process of that. It's also the most like gruesome, gory, almost borderline into thriller genre as well of the ones on this list. So I thought the forensic anthropology was a perfect fit. It also reminded me of how when I was in college, I actually took a kind of occult and magic, witchcraft, religion type of like 101 class, and it was under the anthropology department, and it was one of my favorite classes I ever took in college. So that's where the religious studies minor comes in, because most universities don't have like an occult, pagan, you know, type of department themselves. Some will have courses that are essentially just anthropological of how these kind of organized groups all influence each other and how they, you know, have been formed throughout time. There's very much that kind of overarching occult fantasy element in Ninth House, more so than any of these others. Bunny, I would also say, does have quite a lot of that, but Ninth House is definitely the most like fantasy, creepy, ghosts and occult type of stuff happening. It's basically about another social outcast woman who has not a lot of academic, you know, standing, but she is recruited to go to Yale essentially to monitor this secret society of 9 houses. 8 of them, you know, have their own individual kind of practices, and the 9th house is kind of like the judicial branch of all the houses. It's the one in charge of keeping the other ones in check, making the checks and balances happening. I think that's the judicial, or is that the legislative? It's been a long time since I took a basic government class, okay? Don't quote me. Which house in government? The president of the judicial branch, actually. And so essentially they're in charge of keeping the secret society secret because they are doing some crazy shit that they're really not supposed to be doing. This one has the least like prestigious, like academic setting of all of these. You're not gonna get like Shakespearean references and like anthropological processes like broken down into really like scientific terms. It's definitely, and it's not quite the most eloquently written of all of them. It's not gonna be as like lyrical and kind of out there as like A Secret History, but I think this one's really fun if you want something super witchy and like dark. It focuses a lot more on the actual investigation of like the murders as opposed to kind of the, you know, philosophical side of why people do what they do. It's a lot more anthropological. I hope you enjoyed this book recommendations video. Please give a like and comment if you enjoyed it. I would really appreciate it. And be sure to check out Everend. I'll have the link again in the description. I will see you guys for next week's video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.